Wait, what? You can get paid just for taking the dog for a walk?
What you talking about, Willis?
G'day folks, this is Tony aka Crypto Aussie back with another video, and today I want to talk about a project that I haven't talked about before. STEPN. So what is STEPN? Well, essentially it's an NFT project built on Solana. It's one of the first M2E or move to earn projects, which is a bit like P2E or play to earn, except you actually got to move around. And basically you buy one of their NFTs, then you walk, jog or run every day and you earn rewards for doing so. So how does it work? Well, I'm going to cover this pretty quickly because this is not a how-to tutorial video. It's more intended to give you some insight into what STEPN actually is. And then if there's demand for it, I'll do separate, more detailed videos on how the mechanics work and how to get started and all that sort of stuff. But for today, let's start with the basics. So first of all, you've got to download the app. It's available on the App Store for iOS or for Android. You open an account, and for that you need an activation code. Now I'll come back to that later, so make sure you watch to the end to find out a little bit more about the activation codes and potentially how to get one. Transfer in some Solana, and you can actually, there's a marketplace on the app where you can actually go in and buy using Solana from a whole range of sneakers that are there. And then you start walking or jogging or running to earn GST. And GST is the currency token that this project uses. And that's what you earn when you exercise. So it sounds pretty simple, right? Well, at the surface level, sure, it is pretty simple, but there is a lot of complexity underneath that. And to illustrate that, let me tell you a little bit about the sneakers. So there are 4 types of sneakers: walkers, joggers, runners, and trainers. And which one you want depends on how fast you're going to move. And each sneaker also has one of 5 different quality levels, which those who are familiar with NFTs will recognize. So they're common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. Then on top of that, each sneaker has 4 attributes: efficiency, comfort, resilience, and luck. And how the sneaker performs depends on how strong it is on each attribute. And you can also level up your sneaker, which of course requires investment, but it improves performance across all attributes and gives you points that you can use to further increase the performance of specific attributes. Those attributes can be further enhanced again by picking up gems, which are also NFTs and which you can also pick up on the marketplace on the app. And you can put them in your gem sockets, which you can't quite see on here, but each sneaker has 4 gem sockets, which can take particular types of gems. And then on top of that, the sneaker also wears down as you use it. So you need to spend GST to repair it. Otherwise it starts earning less and then eventually it wears out altogether. So how much you can earn with a particular sneaker and how much it costs to maintain your earnings are all impacted by all of those elements. And that's just the sneaker attributes. We haven't even touched on game mechanics, minting, tokenomics, and everything else that goes into this. So you can probably see why it took me a whole weekend just to figure out the basics. Anyway, speaking of minting, as was the case with some of the earlier P2E games, you can actually breed sneakers. You essentially put 2 sneakers together, 2 existing sneakers together, and provided they're of age, which means they're at least level 5, and you have enough GST to pay for the new baby. Actually, it's kind of like real life, isn't it? Put those 2 sneakers together, maybe provide some soft lighting and some romantic music. Then just close the door and let those 2 lovebirds do their thing. And voila, new sneaker. Now there's an element of randomness involved, so you never know exactly what you're going to get. And each sneaker is capable of parenting up to 7 baby sneakers, potentially with 7 different sneaker partners. Never said they were classy. So why would you want new sneakers? Well, 2 reasons. The more sneakers you have, the more you can earn. That's the first one. And secondly, you can sell those sneakers on the marketplace. And the fact that new players always need to buy one to get started means that there's always demand for sneakers. So how much does it cost to get started? And how much can you earn? Well, right now, the floor price for a common sneaker with fairly crappy attributes is around 12 Sol, or over $1,000. Now, in the beginning, with one ordinary but well-chosen sneaker, level 1, no gems, you can earn maybe $15 to $25 net a day after repair costs. So if you buy just one and go for a 10-minute walk every day, you can earn all your money back in maybe 60 to 80 days, which is actually pretty good. And at the end of that period, you still own the NFT, which you can sell on the marketplace whenever you want. But in reality, you should be able to earn your money back a lot faster than that by using the tools at your disposal within the game, such as leveling up, using points, potentially using gems, buying new sneakers or minting new sneakers. Personally, I'm looking to do it in about 40 days. And over time, earnings can go up quite a lot. There's actually people who have worked their way up to earning $1,000 or more every day just by going for a run. So the big question is this sustainable? How can they afford to keep paying me that much money to just go walking or running around my neighbourhood? And that's an excellent question. But it's also a fairly complex question, so it's one that I'm going to tackle in more detail in a future video. In the meantime, in my view, which is just the view of some random guy on the internet who knows nothing and is certainly not financial advice, it might be a while before we find out how sustainable it really is, because it has massive potential for growth in the short term, in my opinion. This is one of the first projects that ties crypto clearly to the fitness, weight loss, and health markets, and that market is huge. STEPN has just hit 300,000 users, but if it starts getting noticed in the mainstream fitness industry, then that is just a drop in the ocean. And it's already starting. Many STEPN users are reporting that their family and friends are getting into it. People who have never been interested in crypto before, but are attracted by the combination of crypto and real life fitness outcomes. And Binance is already onto this. Binance is one of their investors, and they're organizing AMAs with fitness professionals who use the app. So that's the size of the overall market. But what about branded and custom sneakers? Yep, there's already a partnership between STEPN, Binance, and ASICS to mint ASIC branded sneakers. And one of their advisors is a VP at Adidas. If you look down here, here's the team, fully doxed. You can go to their LinkedIns. And down here, one of their advisors here is a VP at Adidas. So you'd expect Adidas to get involved at some point as well. And beyond that, there are plenty of other companies, businesses, organizations who could be interested in this too. As I said, the fitness industry is huge. And one you might not have thought about is insurance. Back in my consulting days, I actually helped a health insurance company build and launch a fitness app. And you can see why something like STEPN might make perfect long-term sense for a company like that. It encourages people to be more active, which improves their health and reduces the likelihood of making claims on their health insurance. So wins all round. And what about expanding it from just walking and running to thousands of other fitness activities? Biking is an obvious first step, and there are plenty of places to go from there. So when I look at that, when I look at all those factors, I think there's lots of growth potential, which is going to sustain this project for quite a long time. Okay, to summarize. So what do I like? I like that it's growing like a bastard already, to the point that they have had to put measures in place to slow it down, like limiting the availability of activation codes. The ROI is very strong. At the moment, you can earn over 2% a day, and you can double your money in 40, 60, 80 days. Third, the mechanics, although complex, are relatively transparent. The white paper lays it out in some detail, including things like the odds of getting certain outcomes, like when you mint a new sneaker, what are the odds of getting a certain type of sneaker? Fourth, I think Move to Earn is a massive opportunity because the fitness, weight loss, and health industry is huge, and the concept of earning money to exercise is so compelling. And this is just the start, aka we are early. There are so many opportunities for partnerships. ASIC's already done one. Adidas is on the agenda in the future, I'm sure. And the list of potentials after that is absolutely endless. And I also like that the team is fully doxed and backed by some very heavy hitters. I already mentioned Binance. They've also got Solana Ventures have invested in them, and Sequoia Capital, which, if you haven't heard of them, is a very, very well-known VC firm. So they've got some really heavy hitters behind them. So what do I not like? Well, I don't like that it's expensive to get started. The floor price for a sneaker is currently over 12 Solana. Now, that could keep a lot of people out due to affordability. Not everyone can afford to pay over $1,000 for an electronic sneaker. One thing they are doing, though, to address that is they're planning to introduce a rental program sometime later this year, which I'm sure will help in terms of lowering the barrier to entry. I also don't like that while the mechanics might be reasonably transparent, they're also incredibly complex. So each sneaker has a type, rarity, level, attributes. They can also then be leveled up with different levels, points and gems, worn down with use. And that's just the NFT itself. The game mechanics and tokenomics add many more layers of complexity. And with extra complexity comes the possibility of tripping themselves up with unintended consequences, but also making it super hard for people to actually get started and to play this game properly because it's just too complex to understand. Now, I also think they do need to do some work on the tokenomics. Now, I haven't covered sustainability in this video. As I said before, I'll come back to that. But I do think, just as a heads up, that I think there's some challenges with that they're going to have to sort out. Now, with the team they've got behind them, with the potential for growth and the fact that they're really well placed to take advantage of that growth, I think they have some time and hopefully the ability to be able to figure that stuff out, but they need to do it. So bottom line for me is this feels like it could be massive if they get it right. The fact is it's still in beta. It's also a massive market. They've also got some really smart, well-funded investors behind them. So there's a lot of things to like. Doesn't mean they'll succeed, of course. They still need to execute. And this is crypto after all. But it could be glorious if they can do it. Crypto Aussie's outrageously expensive lawyer here. My client is not a financial advisor. In fact, he is not an advisor of any sort. Nothing he says should be considered financial advice or an investment recommendation of any type. Cryptocurrencies are inherently risky, and it is therefore incredibly important that you do your own research and make your own decisions. And if you feel like you need advice, then you should get it from someone who is trusted, qualified, and ideally ridiculously expensive, like me, but not Crypto Aussie. That guy is barely able to tie his own shoes. But as long as he keeps paying my inhumanly expensive fees out of his crypto earnings, I really don't care whether he can tie his shoes or not. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's time for me to go and get another super rich client to buy me a very long and very boozy lunch. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. He has a habit sometimes of butting in uninvited. Anyway, just to be totally clear with you, I'm not recommending that you invest in STEPN. That's not my role, and frankly, it makes no difference to me whether you do or not. It's entirely your responsibility to make that decision for yourself. This video is purely for information purposes, with hopefully a little bit of entertainment thrown in. Okay, with that said, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, drop a comment in the comments below, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified when I drop videos in the future. And if you want to take your crypto investing experience to the next level, make sure you check out the Sat Stackers Mastermind. The Sat Stackers Mastermind is a close-knit, super active, and extremely supportive group of crypto investors who discuss opportunities like this and many others day in and day out. And it even provides access to limited and exclusive opportunities that you will not find anywhere else. So if that sounds cool to you, the link for that is in the description. Or you can hit me up in the comments if you want more information. Oh, and before I forget, I mentioned activation codes earlier in this video. You need one to get started, but they can be super hard to get because the team has limited their availability. And that's because they don't want this thing to blow up too fast, get out of control, and explode. But the good news is I have one, and I'm going to give it to one lucky person who watches this video. To be in the running, all you need to do is subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment in the comments below before 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, the 6th of May. That's 2022 if you're watching this in the future. I'll choose one person at random for all the people who qualify. So if you want to get started with STEPN and you need that pesky activation code, this is your opportunity. Good luck. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.